When did jail come? Okay.
Maria Cristina Lozano.
All right, so it looks like you had some warrants for your arrest at the jail found out of justice court, a case for shoplifting from July 12th of 2023. And then you had a shoplifting case in criminal trespass from October 7th of 2024. For both cases, are you serving jail time or no?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna give you a chance to appear on your own. I'm gonna quash the warrants, release you on both of those charges. Your next
Okay.
court date is going to be in Justice Court, March 19th at 9:30 a.m. You also picked up new charges in City Court for charges involving failure to comply with a court order from today's date. It's a domestic violence charge. I'm an enter pleas of not guilty. And let me see. Hold on a second. So, Ms. Lozano, I'm going to give you a chance to appear.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Detail services workup for this case for the record. I'm going to make it very clear to you. You're not allowed to have any contact with Alejandro Gutierrez. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, if he calls you, you have to refuse his calls. If he tells
Yes,
you
Your
to
Honor.
come over, you can't go over to where he lives, have no contact with him. You can clearly see he can invite you, you go over, and then you're gonna get charged.
Yes, sir.
So you cannot have any contact unless a judge tells you that you can have contact. So now you've got two different orders. One is civil order and this criminal order telling you to have no contact with this person.
Yes,
I'm
Your
gonna
Honor.
give you a chance to be released. Your next court date's March 18th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. You must appear in city court. If you do not, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Have no contact with this individual. You are excused.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ma'am, go ahead and have a seat in the back right corner.
What is your full, oh, sorry. What is your full name, please?
More Marcus
What's your middle name, please?
Angel.
All right, so it looks like the jail found 3 warrants for your arrest out of justice court, all of them involving shoplifting charges. One case is from August 22nd of 2022, November 18th of 2022, September 11th of 2024. I'm gonna quash those warrants, release you because you're being held on a felony matter. For all 3 cases, your next court date is gonna be set March 19th, 8:30 p.m. And I'll let Justice Court know that you're currently in custody on that felony matter. You also have a new charge for shoplifting from today's date out of city court. And then you had several cases in warrant status for various charges. How many cases you have? Let's see. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cases in warrant status for various charges involving criminal trespass, disorderly conduct, shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, assault, disorderly conduct, possession of prescription drugs. For your city court case, I'll set your bond at $1,000. You're still being held in that felony matter. I'll appoint the city public defender's office to represent you for these cases. Your next hearing date's going to be in February 25th, 2025 at 1:45 PM. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. You are excused. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is your full name, please?
Hello, my name is Victor Pena.
Daniel, it looks like you're wanted in South Tucson Court. Looks like it was for a shoplifting case. And I'm going to quash the warrant, release you because you're being held on that felony. Your next court date in South Tucson is March 4th at 10 a.m. And I'll let them know that you're currently in custody on a felony matter. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening. Your full name, please.
Ronaldo B.
Looks like you're wanted in Wilcox Justice Court for some sort of traffic survival school. You're failing to show your proof that you completed the class, I believe. I'm going to quash the warrant, release you. March 3rd at 9 a.m. is your next court date in Wilcox Justice Court. And you also had a city court cases. Let me see what these are about. Looks like January 16th, 2025, a warrant went out for you on 2 separate domestic violence cases. And you were being represented by an attorney. I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office. Your bond is set at $2,500 cash. You'll see an attorney and the judge. The judge you'll see February 26th at 1:30 p.m. Your attorney will be out to see you soon. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What is your full name, please?
Dven Sky Free Spirit.
All right, so it looks like you had a city court case with charges involving shoplifting and drug paraphernalia from today. Then you had a warrant for your arrest for criminal trespass in a 3rd degree from December 30th of 2024. I'm going to quash that warrant, enter pleas of not guilty, let you know you do have a constitutional right to remain silent. I see you have a felony case that you're being held on. I'm going to release you on these charges. I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. Your next court date is going to be in city court, April 18th at 9 a.m. And I'll let city court know that you're currently in custody on a felony matter. You are excused. Thank you.
Thanks.
What is your full name, sir?
Kevin Joseph Harris.
All right, looks like you are charged with domestic violence criminal damage. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. Hold on a second. All right, I'm willing to let you be released, but you cannot have any contact with, what's her name? Tegan or something? Tegan Sailors. So
Yes, Your Honor.
be released. You cannot go to where she lives. You can have no contact with her, commit no further acts of domestic violence. And if you still have belongings in a home?
Well, Your Honor, that's my home. That's the only place I have to go.
Okay, you can't go there. I'm letting you know that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have belongings in that home?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll let you return one time with a police escort to get your belongings. Otherwise, you cannot stay there. You cannot have any contact. Do not text the person. Do not call. So don't social media. You're going to get new charges if you do that, sir. Stay away from her. Thank you. You're excused.
Johnson.
What is your full name, please?
Michael Lee Johnson.
All right, looks like you have new charges of domestic violence, criminal damage, domestic violence, disorderly conduct. I'm gonna enter pleas of not guilty. Let's see. Let's see the recommendation. So, Mr. Johnson, you have a really old case too. Failure to notifying of striking an object on a fixture on a highway. This charge is from May 16th of 2019. You live in Tucson?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been living here?
My whole life.
All right. I'm going to give you a chance to be released. This time you got to appear in city court for both of these cases. I'm going
Yes,
to
ma'am.
see you on March 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Make sure you appear. If you do not, a warrant will issue for your arrest. And don't have contact with your sister. You can't go back to where you've been living, is at 3532 East Elita Street. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You have belongings in the home?
A few.
Do you want your belongings?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll allow you to go back with a police escort one time to get your personal belongings. Otherwise, I'll see you March 24th at 9 a.m. Thank you. You're excused.
Thank-
What is your full name, sir?
Matthew Lewis.
Lewis, you had a warrant for your arrest for this this disorderly conduct criminal damage case that's been pending since December 28th of 2021. You living in town or do you live elsewhere?
I live on the Bond Automation, ma'am.
You're gonna have to see me in court on March 17th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. If you don't see me, I'm gonna issue another warrant for your arrest. There's no excuses. If you're in town this time, you can be in town for your court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You're excused. Thank you.
Your Honor, was he released?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we're gonna go ahead with Miss Carol, Karina, and then we'll continue with Murray and the felonies afterwards.
What is your full
Hello,
name?
Your Honor. Karina Teresa Carol.
All right, looks like you have 3 warrants for your arrest out of South Tucson. One case was a criminal trespass, refusing to provide your true name from May 25th, 2024. A shoplifting from January 16th, 2021. A shoplifting from December 9th of 2021. I'm gonna quash those warrants. You're in custody on a felony matter?
I think so.
All right, I'm gonna quash the warrant, release you. March 4th at 10 a.m. is your next court date in South Tucson. I'll let South Tucson know that you're currently in custody on another matter, so they know where you're at. You're excused. Thank you.
I'm released today.
No, you're not. You got a felony hold on you.
So when does that, when do I take care of that?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about that case.
I can't get released or anything on the felony one, ma'am?
No, I'm not the judge to hear that case. You're excused. Thank you.
Yep, it's right there.
Did they give you the full write-ups on those other ones? I didn't get them. What is your full name, please?
No Murray,
What is your middle name, sir?
Emmanuel.
All right, looks like you are charged with 1 count of domestic violence, aggravated assault. I am going to enter plea of not guilty. I need to let you know, sir, that you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearings. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. Ms. Summers.
Yes, Judge. The state is recommending that he be held on a $25,000 bond. We did have a Form 4C in this case, which indicated a high risk. This is a strangulation case, which I included in my recommendation, the statistics regarding risk in these types of cases. He has prior felony convictions. They do appear to be old. He does have some failure to appears, which are a concern. Your Honor, my biggest concern in this case is that we didn't have any victim input. We don't have any information about whether there's a residence separate from the victim, any of that information about whether the victim would be safe if he were to be released. And so for these reasons, the state is recommending $25,000.
Thank you. Defense counsel?
Your Honor, he's lived in Tucson for 30 years and has ties to the community. He's currently disabled and not able to post any significant amount of bond. He is understanding and willing to have no contact with the alleged victim. I'd ask you set the bond at $5,000.
Mr. Murray, your bond set at $10,000. It's secured, no contact with the victim. Don't call that person, see the person. Don't go to that person's residence or work location. Possess no firearms or weapons. Commit no further acts of domestic violence. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. February 27th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. is your preliminary hearing. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. Thank you. Yes.
Is she not? Desiree, go and have a seat over here. Right here. Okay.
What is your full name, please?
Hi, my name is Desiree Aissa Adedin.
You have been arrested and accused of the crime of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful possession of a narcotic drug, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia, and a misdemeanor criminal trespass in a county park. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing date?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any monitored treatment as directed by pretrial services. While on release status, you are not allowed to drink any alcohol or take any illegal drugs. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your first hearing is called a STEPS hearing. It's set for February 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. You must be present for this hearing date. If you're not present, a warrant will issue for your arrest and you may no longer be eligible for this special diversion program. Defense
Got it.
counsel, you're willing to waive time for the preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right, defense waives time limits for preliminary hearing. Preliminary hearing is set April 3rd at 1:30 p.m.
I have a question. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Ask your attorney. Ask your attorney.
Wait, what do I do after this? Okay.
Thank you. You're excused.
Oh, Your Honor, did she need a city court date for the misdemeanor?
No, it's with the felony.
Oh, okay.
You get released and talk to Kershaw. Have a seat back down in the back right where you were sitting before.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I do. I'm sorry. Wait,
You were getting released.
Okay.
Right now, I need you to go down, back into the lower level and sit down with all the other girls.
No, I'm sorry about that. Thank you.
Bethel?
What is your full name, sir?
Troy Everett Bethel.
Your charge was one count of theft. Burglary in the 3rd degree is your other charge. I'm gonna enter pleas of not guilty. Need to let you know that you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. The prosecutor's office is okay with your release to the supervision of pretrial services. I am going to follow that recommendation and release you to their supervision. You must comply with any monitored treatment they recommend. You are not allowed to drink any alcohol, sir, or take any illegal drugs. Do not have contact with any of the victims involved in this case. Do not go back to any sort of incident location. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set March 10th at 1:30 p.m. Stay in touch with your attorney. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You're excused. Thank you.
Defendants, hold the lights and remain distance.
Fredericks, don't have a seat.
What is your full name, sir?
That's your Michael Fredericks.
County attorney, he's eligible for steps.
So, Your Honor, in the past week, the process has changed and everybody is being sent for a steps court hearing, regardless of whether they ultimately will be eligible. So, I don't know if you saw my recommendation, but
I just need to know, is this pre-indictment or do I read him his charges and their plea of not guilty?
thank you. It is pre-indictment.
All right, thank you. Mr. Fredericks, you've been arrested and accused of the crime of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you being formally charged. Are you interested in participating in the STEPS program?
Sure.
All right,
Yes.
so the state's got a bond recommendation. County, I need to also let you know, okay, just to let you know, Mr. Fredericks, just for the record, you are entitled to remain silent and to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you. County attorney, you have a bond recommendation?
I do, Your Honor, and I don't know, for the reasons I put in there, his scores are, and he has 6 on both scales. He has multiple probation violations. He's on federal probation. It looks like they didn't have a chance to get the hold on him yet. And so I'm really concerned that if he is released, he's not going to comply. He's not going to stay in touch with pretrial services. And it looks like he doesn't have the support systems in place to help him succeed at this point. So I recommended a bond just in case, not just in case, I recommended a bond because it would probably be appropriate to have those support systems in place, find out what's going on with probation before letting him go off on his own.
Defense counsel?
Your Honor, he's lived in Tucson for 6 years and has ties to the community. He's currently unemployed and unable to post even a very small amount of bond. If the court intends to hold him on the misdemeanor failure to appear, then we would have no objection to the $500 bond. If the court is inclined to release him on the misdemeanors, I would ask he be released on the felony as well.
Bond set at $500. Public defender's office is appointed. And STEPS hearing is set for February 24th at 9 a.m. Preliminary hearing is set February 27th at 1:30 p.m. Mr. Fredericks also had a lot of misdemeanors in city court. How many cases does he have? He has 11 cases in warrant status involving charges of shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, soliciting, possession of prescription drugs, criminal trespass, possession of prescription drugs. I'm going to quash all those warrants, set his bond there at $500. City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent him. His next hearing date is going to be in city court, February 25th at 1:45 p.m. His attorney will be in touch with him soon. Thank you.
Intersect.
What is your full name, sir?
Paul James Militich.
Looks like you're wanted in Maricopa County for a possession of a narcotic drug from August 9th of 2022. They were asking for a $50 secured bond. I'll quash the warrant. Mr. Militech, I'll release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You got to make arrangements to report to Maricopa County to be seen on this case. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You can ask pretrial services any questions about that. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Willis.
What is your full name, sir?
Nathaniel.
Mr. Euler, you're charged with 1 count of aggravated DUI. I'm an inner plea of not guilty. Need to let you know you do have a constitutional right to remain silent. to be represented by an attorney. There is an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. County Attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is recommending a bond of $10,000. This is based mostly on the nature of the offense and the danger he presents to the community. He has a history of DUI, and then in this case, we have another DUI where he drove the wrong way, ran red lights while impaired, endangered other citizens on the road. And so because he presents a danger to the community, the state's recommending $10,000.
Defense Counsel?
Your Honor, he has no prior felony convictions. He's a 2 on the FTA scale. He's lived in Tucson for 33 years and has ties to the community. He's also currently employed and would like to keep his job. I'd ask you to set the bond at $1,000.
Because of the alleged 2 prior DUI convictions and the facts in this case, the bond set in this case at $7,500 plus release to pretrial services. If he's able to post a bond, you must comply with any amount of treatment as directed by pretrial services. Mr. Euler, if you get out of custody, you cannot drink any alcohol or take any illegal drugs. You cannot drive without a valid license. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set February 27th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. You are excused. Thank you.
Here.
What is your full name, please?
Jimmy Edward Rivera.
You have been arrested and accused of the crime of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing date?
Yes, please.
I'll release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any amount of treatment they recommend. Sir, while you're on release status, you are not allowed to drink any alcohol. You cannot take any illegal drugs, and you certainly cannot be in possession of any illegal drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Defense Counsel, you waived time limits for the preliminary hearing.
Yes.
All right, preliminary hearing, STEPS hearing is going to be February 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Mr. Rivera, you've got to be in court for that date. It's set for next week. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you may no longer be eligible for the special diversion program. Your preliminary hearing is set April 3rd, 1:30 p.m. And stay in touch with your attorney. You are excused. Thank you. Oh, actually, no,
Thank you.
Mr. Rivera, hold on. You have a misdemeanor case. Misdemeanor case is out of city court, 2 separate criminal trespass cases and warrant status. I'm going to quash those warrants, release you. Your next court date in city court is going to be on March 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. You must be present in court. If you're not, more warrants will issue for your arrest. You are excused. Thank you.
Hey there.
What is
Hello,
your,
ma'am.
what is your full name, please?
William Bill Brandon Spittler.
You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass in the 1st degree. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. Need to let you know you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. Mr. Spittler, the prosecutor's office is okay with your release to the supervision of pretrial services. I will follow that recommendation and release you. You must comply with any monitored treatment as directed by pretrial services. While you're on release status, you are not allowed to go back to that residence location, have no contact with the victim, do not drink any alcohol or take any illegal drugs. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set March 10th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Stay in touch with your attorney. You are excused. Thank you.
So it's
What is your full name, sir?
Don Peter Torres, ma'am.
You're charged with 2 separate counts of aggravated shoplifting. I'm going to enter pleas of not guilty. You do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I'll hear from your attorney. Ms. Summers.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand the nature of the charges being shoplifting. However, he is a 6 on both scales. He has prior probation violations. And the other thing that's of concern is that he currently has 3 open shoplifting cases in justice court. And I did double check, and they are all in warrant status. So he's demonstrated that he's not going to comply with court orders and he's not going to stop this activity. So the state is recommending a bond of $1,000.
Defense counsel.
Your Honor, given the overall situation, a $1,000 bond is reasonable.
Mr. Torres, your bond set at $1,000. Don't go back to the store locations. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your preliminary hearing is set February 27th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. You also had those warrants out of justice court for the shoplifting charges. I'm going to quash the warrants, release you. March 19th at 8:30 a.m. is your next court date in justice court, and I'll let justice court know that you're currently in custody on a felony matter. You are
Whatever.
excused. Thank you. What is your full name, sir?
My name is Joseph Nathaniel Urbina III.
You are charged with 1 count of being a prohibited possessor. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. Need to let you know that you do have a constitutional right to remain silent, to be represented by an attorney. You do have an attorney who is seated next to you representing you for this evening's hearing. I'm going to hear first from the prosecutor's office regarding their bond recommendation, and then I will hear from your attorney. Ms. Summers?
Yes, and it appears I have to correct myself. Previously, one of the other defendants, I said they were on federal probation. I was confused. It's actually Mr. Urbina that is on federal probation. Judge, the state is recommending a bond of $5,000. This is based on the fact that he has prior firearms convictions and he is still possessing a weapon when he is not supposed to. The state is concerned that the arrest today was for violating his DV conditions of release, which indicates an inability to follow court orders. And then also concerning is that this weapon, when we have DV involved and the prior convictions, he's on federal probation. I don't know if a hold will come or not, but the state is recommending $5,000.
Defense counsel.
Your Honor, he's lived in Tucson for 25 years and has ties to the community. He's also currently employed and would like to keep his job. I'd ask you to set the bond at $3,000.
Mr. Urbina, your bond is set at $5,000. You're not allowed to possess any firearms. You'll be released to the supervision of pretrial services if you're able to post that bond. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Your preliminary hearing is February 27th, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Mr. Urbina, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cases, all involving domestic violence, failure to comply with a court order. From today's date, February 16th, 2025, February 15th, 2025, February 14th, 2025, February 12th, 2025, February 13th, 2025, January 26th, 2025, and January 25th, 2025. I am going to enter pleas of not guilty. You are not allowed to have any contact with Patricia. Do not call her. Do not text her, sir. This is why you're being charged. You can't have any contact with this individual at all. You're not allowed to possess any firearms. On your city court case, I'm going to appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. Your bond is set at $2,500 cash for this city court case. Your attorney will be in touch with you soon. Thank you.
Urbina, better take.
What is your full name, please?
Christiana Villicano,
What's your middle name?
Pamela Marie.
You are been arrested and accused of the crime of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing date?
Yes.
I'll release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You must comply with any monitored treatment as directed by pretrial services. You are not allowed to drink any alcohol or take any illegal drugs, nor can you be in possession of any illegal drugs while on release status. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Your first hearing is called a STEP hearing. It's on February 24th, 2025 at 9 a.m. That's next week. You've got to be in court. If you're not in court, a warrant will issue for your arrest, and you may no longer be eligible for this diversion program. Defense counsel, you're willing to waive time limits for the preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Preliminary hearing is set April 3rd, 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Thank you. Oh, Ms. Villicola, you also had a case out of Oro Valley. Let me see, what's this charge for? 2904, hold on. Disorderly conduct. I'm gonna enter plea of not guilty. Don't have contact with the victim. I'll release you on that case. Your next court date in Oro Valley City Courts, March 19th at 10:30 a.m. Make sure you're in court. If not, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You are excused. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
that Oro Valley clerk was a summons arrest. Fury has a bond of $2,000 on it.
I'm sorry?
It was a summons arrest from Oro Valley.
Who's
She
talking?
had the bond.
Who's talking, by the way?
This is the jail, Your
This
Honor.
is jail records. It's a summons arrest from Oro Valley, and Sherry has a bond of $2,000 on it. She
Oh.
was sent here from Oro Valley on it.
So should I be seeing her or no?
No, you should not. She will be staying until she has another court date in Oro Valley.
I'll let the clerk know. Hold on, clerk. You know to take that off, delete it? Yeah, the clerk here is gonna take it off.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good night.
Thanks, y'all. Everyone's excused. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.